I know that I tend to post and I have my own opinion in which I share sometimes in regards to Mr. Obama. And I don't have any like personal thing or hate President Obama as a person because, for one, I don't know him and no one else knows him. Whether we talk good things about him or whether we say bad things about him, we don't know him personally. So the only thing that we have to judge him by is just by the things that he has done thus far in regards to his presidency. So, being a president and being the face of America, as you represent America as you are president, you have a certain image that the public sees, and that image is all that they know, and that is all that they can judge you by. But in terms of your personal life, what you do behind closed doors, when you're not behind a podium, when you're not, around cameras to flash and take pictures of you and pose, then you could be a whole different person. And then you have some people who are emotionally invested in you. It doesn't matter, they will continue to, take up for these individuals no matter what. So, in how I feel about Obama, again, I don't dislike him in terms of hating him or despising him. I'm sorry about that music, but it keeps coming on and I don't know why it does that, and then it goes off. So basically, I don't feel in any way towards him. It's more of what he represents, what others before him represent, and the fact that people are just kind of falling for the same nonsense, and he has brought nothing different. He has done nothing majorly significant for anybody in this country, in my opinion. Nothing of big significance to me. I think that when you place President Obama up against other presidents, because they were white, older presidents, and he's like a younger, well, he's not that young, but he's younger in comparison. And then he's black. And it's easy to get, particularly blacks, emotionally invested into a black figure such as Obama. And it doesn't matter what Obama does or doesn't do, because of the blacks' emotional investment, they will, stick up for him, find every excuse they can for everything he does. And I've noticed this, even when it doesn't even make sense, they do it. And I've noticed that a lot. So, they've done a great job in, keeping people in that ignorant state of mind when it comes to Obama. Ignorant means that you're not fully knowledgeable, or there's things out there that you don't see because you choose not to see it. Even when people put it in front of you and tell you, hey, look it up, it's like these types of people are restricted. Something has restricted them in their mind somewhere, where when you say look it up, they just won't go look it up. Now, I will use this as an example. There are a few times where I, commented or responded to a post in regards to Obama, because, it's with other blacks, and they would, praise him for things that they have no knowledge about at all. Like, they don't have any knowledge at all. It's like they try to pull things as much as they can to say, well, he did this, and this is why he's the greatest president in the world. And I think it's hilarious. And then when you ask them, okay, what has he done? They will say, oh, well, he did the Obamacare, and he helped the economy, and because Bush, he messed up the economy, and Obama came and saved it. and he just have so much class, and he's just a great president. And this is what they interpret as being a great president. So it was interesting because I got in a short little discussion. It was actually on Pinterest that this occurred, and I saw someone post a photo of Obama, and the photo said, "The greatest president there ever was. We'll miss you." And people were commenting, they're disagreeing with him and so forth. And someone posted, "Oh, please, good riddance to him." And somebody responded back, "No, not good riddance. He was a great president." And da da da. So I was like, okay, this is interesting. I would like to know a little bit more about this person's perspective and why they think he was the greatest president. So I posted, I don't think Obama was the greatest president. In my opinion, the greatest president was JFK. And they assassinated J.F. Kennedy because he refused to be a puppet. He refused to be their mouthpiece. He stood up against the government, and he was revealing things to the people in public. He was telling people and exposing things about the government to people in his presidency. You can't stand up against the people who are feeding you, who are putting you in a powerful position. And when they saw that they couldn't control JFK, and because he had a heart, he was a person that was for the people, meaning he saw things that was not benefiting the American people, and he had a heart that they couldn't control to do something about it, and he went against them, and he said some things, and there were a lot of things he said prior to his being assassinated, and they publicized his assassination. To shoot and kill somebody next to their own wife in public. He was driving in a drop-top car, no protection. It was obvious he stood up for something. And that to me equates to someone being great. Someone who put their life on the line and went against something, refused to be controlled puppet, refused to continue to hide the lies, whose conscience was just, his conscience couldn't take it anymore. And he, went out and just let it out and let people know. Even though he was risking his own life and he knew it. That's boldness, that's bravery. So I posted, JFK was the greatest president. Obama just looks good. Like he just looks, not look good in like physically, but he just looks good. He talks a certain way, and he has a suave and swag, and he looks proper because that's the image that is being sold. We don't know him personally. We just know what we see and how he looks. Now, the person responded and was like, they didn't even address the fact that I mentioned JFK, by the way. It was interesting. I don't think they even knew anything about JFK. This is how educated these people are. So they responded and was like, "Oh, President Obama did a lot for this country. He fixed what Bush messed up. He took the soldiers or whatever out of Iraq and stopped the war in Iraq. And he's a Harvard graduate. And yes, he's a good-looking president." And this was their argument. This was what all they had to give to say he was the greatest president. Interesting. So anyway, so I responded back, "Okay, well, if you want us to talk about college degrees and so forth, President George Bush went to Yale, and he also attended a Ivy League elite college himself. So what does college attendance have to do with anything?" And then I went on to say, also, maybe you should do a little bit more research, because if you did that, your statement is incorrect. Obama didn't stop the war in Iraq or pull out the troops. Someone else influenced him. We don't know who. It could have been Bush, because him and Bush are pretty good people together. And I made that statement too in the comment, that him and Bush seem to get along pretty well. Sorry about the music again. And then I brought up to their attention, it's amazing because even Obama himself, in his own words, admitted that he had nothing to do It wasn't his idea to stop the war in Iraq and pull out the soldiers of these soldiers out of Iraq. That was not his idea. He said it out of his own mouth. So, it's interesting. So that means, and then I say, so that means that he probably would have had them remain if it was up to him. And, and that's all I said. And then I said, I think we should focus on today instead of the past and stop blaming things on Bush, because he's not president anymore. It's getting old. And the whole blaming the economy and the debt on Bush is retarded, because he didn't cause that to happen either. So if people do their research, they would know that he had nothing to do with it, the debt and the economy that Obama got stuck with. And Obama definitely had something to do with the rate and the current debt now. He definitely has something to do with it now. But Bush didn't have anything to do with the economy when he was the presidency. Look it up. So anyway, and that's the problem. People don't research. I don't know where they get their information from. Because how can you be a college graduate and don't know how to research? It's like so easy. You do everything on Pinterest. You do everything on Twitter. You need to do something on Google search and do some research and educate yourself and find this information. It's really easy to find out these things. Oh, that's so annoying. So anyway, this person never responded back. It's been 2 weeks. They didn't respond back at all. So I was like, okay, I guess that's that. So, it's very interesting. Again, I say, I don't have anything up against Obama. It's the establishment. It's the system. He is no different than all the other presidents, except for JFK maybe. Because after JFK, after they did that public assassination of JFK, that was like a warning to every other president after him. That if you don't do what we tell you to do and be a nice little, puppet and follow what we tell you to and think you can go out of line and not do what we tell you to do and say what we want you to say, this will happen to you. Now, there are some theories in regards to Obama and possibly Obama's assassination. If that occurs, I wouldn't put him in the category of JFK, because he didn't really do anything, to be assassinated like JFK did. If that happens to Obama, it probably will be done to continue the race war, to get blacks mad and all that stuff, because it's basically the theme the last 2 years is the race thing, racial division. That's what they're working towards. And again, because blacks are easily manipulated emotionally, it's pretty easy to get them to act out and pull the race card and all that stuff. When most of the time, for these people, the elites and these people that control the system and Obama, they don't care about race. Okay, really. But this person right here, I don't know who that is. All I see is a mind-controlled person who does whatever he is told and who represents something else behind the mask and all that stuff. Alright, so I don't intend for this to be too long, so I'm going to end it here. Ta-ta!